What's up, guys? I'm doing a on the road recording. So I just got back from looking at apparently a 2003 Nissan 350Z. The guy listed it as a 2006. So I think he didn't know. He thought it was. At least he got the right range of years right. So it's a little older, yeah. And, that doesn't really change much because most of the Zs, unless you get the HR, that would be the big difference in 2007. Most of the Zs are pretty similar, and they're all good in their own ways, to be brief. But yeah, I'm shopping for a Nissan 350Z, and on the screen, you're going to be seeing my old Z. I'm going to try to scrounge around and find images of my old ultra yellow 2005 Nissan 350Z with the 35th anniversary color. And beautiful car, never let me down, ultra reliable, 6-speed manual transmission, everything I could have ever wanted. Great car. That car has since been sold, and years have passed, and I'm looking on the market. So this car that I went to go look at, the guy actually got the car inherited because the owner passed away, who they were related to, or right? So he got the car, and he doesn't know much about it, nor does he really even know how to drive stick shift. So that's a potential for me. I started the car. I went through all 6 gears. Car needs some work. What's the immediate problem? Looks like the alternator is completely shot, and I mean completely. It won't even do anything. So the guy put a new battery in, but without the alternator charging, and it just doesn't even want to run right to that level. So even driving it wasn't really possible. I had to use my jump starter, which I keep with me for anything, including this. So, he told me I jumped it before, and I was like, okay. And I expected it to at least run. If you rev the engine up, the alternator might be weak, but work, no. And why did the alternator break? Because it had a power steering leak. So older car, power steering leak, not the end of the world. And that's kind of curious. I'm curious if the pump has gotten damaged or not, considering that the power steering fluid is low. Maybe some mechanic experts can talk in the comments on if they think that driving the car with that. I had the car running and revved, somewhere around 3,500 RPM, and I was trying to turn the steering wheel. Of course, it was manual. There was no power steering help because it doesn't have fluid to make the power steering work. So it was that down, and the guy didn't really know, even to top it up. So the car's in rough shape in a sort. But what's good about the car? Well, I did an inspection inside, outside, in the engine bay, underneath. And, it's not bad. The chassis looks good. Engine looks good. It just has leaks, and it's old. But there's too much going on with the paperwork, and it needs repairs. And here's the thing that stopped me, right? I can't buy the car in California unless he does the smog test. And, you know, you want the smog test done to make sure your smog system is working and you don't have to shell out and pay to have the smog system fixed. So I was like, nah, it's a bridge too far. You know, you need to fix it. You need to fix it. I didn't want to say you need to fix it. I actually don't think he needs to fix it. But I'm saying, like, well, California DMV says you have to do the smog test. You can't get the car even to the smog place to make sure that it's all smog worthy and they give you a pass, whatever that entails. And then I was like, okay, so you could either fix the alternator and get it running, or you could take it on a tow truck. And so, like, the implication, or what I'm implying, is like that needs to be done before I buy it, because I'm not the owner. Therefore, I'm not going to replace the alternator. I'm not going to take it to get a smog test. I'm not going to have it towed, and all that stuff. And I kind of told the guy, like, it's not even really about the money if the car is priced right. And then he started telling me the car owner's bug, right? He's bitten by the bug, right? Oh, I might keep it. I'm starting to like it, all this stuff. Guy doesn't even drive stick. He's a dreamer in that respect. He's a nice guy. But he has multiple other cars. I think he inherited 2 cars. He showed me 2 cars that he owned. That's 4 cars. I think he has 5 cars. I'm like, dude, you got to spend money to fix this stuff. Focus on your other BMW cars, and Lord knows there's going to be enough money going through those cars. Those are the cars you like, obviously. Those are the ones that he owned, and he was telling me, I got this and I'm driving this one. That one needs something. Funny enough, I think he told me he needs an alternator. So, whatever. The alternators go, you know, you're just driving along, and then all of a sudden, you know, they're old, and then you need to get one rebuilt from AutoZone, or, you know, buy one online or whatever. So alternators are part of the journey, the course of used car, older car. And that's fine. So I was just interesting. I was like, you know what? I might buy this if you get the paperwork sorted. Let me try to do a test drive. Couldn't do a test drive. Sat in it. It's just that it needs us cosmetic work. That's where it was a weak point, and that's exactly the kind of car that I'm looking to buy, where I can get a deal. It needs cosmetic stuff. I don't really care. I want to customize the car and make it my own or whatever, upgrade it and all this stuff. That's not really what it's about. But I don't know, the plot thickened a little bit. There was some other oddities or things wrong that I don't usually encounter. Like the tachometer was staying at like 1500 RPM, and I don't know if that's just the computer going haywire because of the battery, or if that's some other kind of thing. If the tach is bad or the signal's bad, I don't know what the deal is with that. The motor was revving just fine. Felt actually really lively, which was nice, because I was like, well, I mean, I gotta see what at least the heart of the beast is, the engine. So that gave me confidence that there's maybe good bones on the chassis, maybe good bones on the engine, and the synchros were good on the transmission, so the transmission should be fine. Who knows what the condition of the clutch is? You never know. That's going to be a wear item, technically, I guess. So that's really the totality of me going to see the car. I told him thank you, and I shook his hand, and he's going to do the alternator, of course. He's got to do something with the car. So maybe he'll message me, but I'm looking at other cars, so maybe that's the end of that chapter for me and my involvement with the car itself. Now we got some kind of ambulance passing by. probably just going to end up cutting this out. If it's still in the video, it was easier for me to make the video without cutting it out. I should be able to do that. But back to my car, the main thing of me opening this up, publicly making a video, like when I had my Z, I didn't make videos about it. I wasn't showing it off and talking about my journey and stuff like this. And, I was very passionate about the car, but I was also very, I don't want to say private, but it was just me. I was working on the car for myself. This is where all the culmination of my automotive knowledge and customizing skills. It was all in my hands, and it was all for me, personal. And a lot of people enjoyed looking at that car, commenting on it, telling me they used to own a Z, all this stuff. Went to the car meets while I was working on it. So, nobody really cared when I was working on the car. They cared when it was beautiful and done up completely. Then they cared. But by then, I was just enjoying it myself. I wasn't really going around at the car shows and stuff like that. So, whatever that's worth. But that's how it is, I guess. But all of that is irrelevant because, again, the first car was for me, not for anyone else anyway. So, hope you enjoyed looking at the pictures. My plan was to see if I do buy a car and then make a video of the acquisition. My hopefully I can journal it and kind of talk about like the journey and the regular stuff of ownership. People want to know a lot of stuff about the Zs. I thought the gas mileage was good. It was not bad, but I think that people can say it uses a lot of gas. If you're always on the accelerator, if you're always on the gas pedal, yeah, you can burn through a lot of gas. It can tend to run rich in certain scenarios. So I think that that's really, it's not a gas waster. It has a 6-speed overdrive. Manual transmission is very efficient. It has a lot of torque, so you don't need to rev it out like any kind of 4-cylinder. I think it's a great car to drive around all the time, which I did. Anytime I wanted to have enjoyment of the car, I would drive it, and it gets you a little pickup, a little bit of torque and a little power, and then you can cruise it most of the time, and the gas mileage was great. But I know people race them around and want to hear the exhaust all the time and all that stuff, so of course it's going to use more gas in that case. That's kind of my initial review, because there's common questions about how much it costs to maintain and how much it costs in gas and stuff like that, and you're gonna, there's expense. The horrible thing about the tire costs is the prices have shot up. You used to be able to buy tires for $100, just to give you a rule of thumb idea. Now tires are generally $200 per tire. So instead of $400, it's $800, or almost $1,000 all said and done, setting a new set of tires. And boy, I looked at the tire market, and there's just a bunch of Chinese brands. I want to say there was 10 to 15 different China related. I say China, that's not really accurate. It's a lot of China. Then I saw, I don't know, I think I want to say Philippines, Thailand, and then China / other places. So they were kind of involved at some level. But that's the kind of the tire story, to the point where I just ordered new tires, and that's why I'm kind of did a little research, and not only that, but pulled the trigger on new tires for another car. If you get a deal, there's a couple deals around. I think one place had a $100 gift card for you. I think that's like America's Tire. Another place was doing, 200 something when you buy a set of 4 or something. So you can get the tires you want and get a little bit of money back, which alleviates it. Or you can also shop around for a base tire that is, they have overstock or old models, or, they put them on sale, or, you can get them at, the discount stores. I don't know if it's Costco, Sam's Club, any of that kind of stuff. They have their own deals. So there's ways to get the tires cheap. It's all car related, which is kind of fun. I like being involved in the world. I like the whole automotive thing, obviously, and it'll tie into the Z. So that's it. Thanks for checking it out. It'd be great if you let me know that you want to see this and that. And again, as I'm looking, usually you keep looking and you might find something. So I think I might find a Z. But if not, you saw my Z that I used to own. And at least we have that. Catch you on the next video.